I'm Stan or Stanislav, originally Harciník. I'm a actual global ambassador of our beautiful Mirror Cocktail Bar here in Bratislava in Hotel Carlton, and I'm also author of a cocktail book which is called The Cocktail Balance. And kind of, I'm also always bartending or still in like a cocktail culture and hospitality world for some time. I believe that it's more than 10, 11 years or something. So I would say that it kind of get to me like it's not only work, it's also a lifestyle or part of a life even, The Mirror Bar. Our bar is kind of a world on its own in our Hotel Carlton. The bar is a beautiful connection of three pillars. It was originally created in a mind of our bar manager, Peter Marcina, and it was kind of like his dream at the very beginning. And he was able to persuade to create something this unusual in Slovakia and in hotels, because before it was not something like it's, for example, in London, then hotel bars are a thing. Like in the very beginning, nobody believed that we could end up here to be bar that's successful, that's doing fine with the business, have a lot of guests, and still like new ones coming. So it ended up the dream came true in a way. And the very base of the concept is a combination of three pillars, and these three pillars are kind of a thing that are allowing us to be like modern, young, playful, and funny, but at the same time, really like classy, professional, and being able to create or even like put together the unforgettable experiences for our guests, which kind of is a very idea of our concept to bring the people in and let them live with some feeling that they experience something that they have never before or nowhere else. And these three pillars, as I said, are kind of the thing that helping us to build it. And they are based on what we love, what we do, and what's kind of a history also. So the class one represents not only the design of a bar in which we try to connect the very historical parts of the Hotel Carlton or the Mirror Cocktail Bar room as it is, like our ceiling, which originally was built or reconstructed from the 13th century. Very base of ceiling in it, and the classy represents for us the bartending. In a way, the bartenders were always kind of a classy. Like right now, we can be also like punk, like very full of freedom and expression, but still in the beginning or core of bartending, it's kind of the classy nature of it. And classy also for us represents the connection with the history of Hotel Carlton, which is kind of rich. This not only this building, but the very beginning of the hospitality kind of in hotel or place where people or guests were meeting goes more than 300 years ago, and it started by the place that was called in by the Green Tree. And kind of putting together this history from the very beginning of the place till when Henrik Pruger, the former director of Hotel Savoy in London, both the buildings and put them together in a Hotel Carlton as it is kind of a lot that we could put our ideas into and connect them to what we are doing in a bar. So this classy pillar represents not only our craft as a bartending or bartenders, but also the history of Hotel Carlton itself, which we are continuing within also our cocktails, connecting in a way with the history of some classic cocktail, which we do kind of transform in a modern twist, but putting together with the history of Hotel Carlton. So we are like building the bridges in time to it. And it goes to art. An art pillar is kind of very important to us because also as bartenders, we are kind of an artist in a way. And we are creating. We are not only creating the cocktails, the ingredients, but also we are creating the stories for them, for our guests. And we are creating the atmosphere of a bar, and we are creating the experiences of the guests. And also art is also part of our hearts in a way. And art is something that can give us, not only us, but also to our guests, freedom. freedom in life, freedom in time, in a way. And we wanted to put it together in cooperation with mainly local artists, and not only artists but also craftsmen, also the people that are kind of interested in art. And we built our actual menu together with 60 different people. So in our book, cocktail book that we are presenting right now, laid hands not only us as a bar team, but also plenty of professionals in what they're doing. Like, let's speak about the glass workers, the florists, the botanists, even product designers, as it is, but also the guys that work in perfumeries, that works with the storytelling, like actors, and the people that works with wood, that works with marbles and whatsoever. Like, plenty of people. So it's kind of a art pillar, and our actual cocktail menu is kind of legacy, not only of our bar and our team, but also the people mainly from like Slovakia, Czech, like the ones that we want to support and that also supports us at the same time. And lastly, I believe that's the most important pillar for us. It's the nature, and nature we picked, or Peter at his very beginning of dream, in a way, picked nature because nature is kind of part of every one of us. And in this more fast-paced world and the big cities, we kind of still forgetting about the nature, or we are trying to look like it's not so important as it is. And we wanted to bring it to bars. It's the most hardest part of our bar, of our concept, but it's also the most interesting, and I believe that the part that makes us the most original, that we bring the nature, real nature, to our bar within our botanical arrangements, within the concept, how we use the ingredients, but also as a representation of art. And the main dominant part of our bar is also a tree. It's not actual living tree, but it's an installation of Slovak florist as an artist, Robert Bartolen, and it also kind of connection. It's also kind of connection of these three pillars that I'm speaking about, because for classy, it represents the very beginning of history of Hotel Carlton, the In by the Green Tree, all together with artist as florist Robert Bartolen, who made this installation, and a tree which is part of the nature, and it's the dominant that you can see when you enter the bar, and you can say to yourself like, wow, this is something that I never experienced before. But the nature, it's not only in unliving things. We are also using the botanical arrangements. We even have our own kind of humidor for our bonsais, for our plants that we are using in serving together with our cocktails. And nature, as it is the thing that fulfills people with the energy when you are like stressful, and you don't have time to do like anything else in your life, in only work and only being under pressure. Every time when you go somewhere out, like whether if it's a forest or something, but when you are out alone in nature, it's always the thing that brings you to the energy to relax, to kind of a reset of your body in a way, and the mind in the end. So yeah, basically these three pillars, and a connection of bartending, art directions, and nature is what we believe we are. If focusing of putting them together and recreating within these and the hospitality and our bar team, the experiences for our guests. And we hope and we believe that the most unforgettable ones.
So I think it has been very unforgettable because you've been ranked as one of the best bars in the world. How does that feel?
So first, it was very feeling that brought to us freedom on our side, because from the opening of a bar, it was kind of one of our goals to bring the global recognition to our bar, to Mirror Bar and its team. But also, since we are a small country, and I believe that bartending is really strong, or the cocktail culture is strong in here, but it's still Bratislava, Slovakia. Not a lot of people even know that country like this exists in the end. And even less of them knows that the gastronomy level or the bar level in here is really strong. So it was always a work of people that are passionate about, that wanted to bring something like this to our bar, to our team, to our country, as it is. So it kind of set us free for a moment, that the work and the energy, the time we put in through the time from the opening of a bar, which is actually almost 5 years now, ended up in something that we fulfilled for ourselves. But at the same time, it brought us a huge responsibility. And like when you get an award, recognition or whatever, one thing is to get to it, but second one is what do you do with it. And our like idea is to take as much as we can from it, not only for us, for a bar and for the team, but also for our country. And let's do everything that we are able to get even more. I don't think that it's for our like egos or whatsoever, but it's for the idea that we want people to know about us, to know about our country, about our bar, our hotel even, and comes here, like to help us grow together in the end. So yeah, it was great. It was great actually.
So I know that you guys are trying to do a little bit more because you're doing the Mirror Hospitality Expo, which talks about not only drink but food as well from the country. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Mirror Hospitality Expo was kind of a pinnacle to our projects, because we were working for a long time for like kind of global recognition, as I said before, but we knew that it's not enough, because we are not in London, we are not in a New York City where a journalist or a global community works around the street and, oh hey, there is something new, so let's come inside. We knew that to get the recognition, to get people to come to Bratislava, Slovakia, and to come to Mirror Bar and Hotel Carlton, takes that we need to bring them by ourselves first, So we were slowly building on it for 4 years before, and then we decided to, okay, let's do something even bigger, I would say. And before we had a Slovak bar show in Slovakia, but it was not organized from like the COVID times, and we were at the point like, okay, we need to have a global event in Slovakia, and what could we do? So we kind of connected to the people from Slovak Bar Show, and we get from them the memo that they will probably not organize the event anymore, and that we are free to do something like this. So we went fully to Mirror Hospitality Expo organization, and since it's a hospitality expo and not like only a bar show or something like that, we wanted to focus not only cocktail culture but also hospitality as it is, because hospitality you can experience in a coffee, you can experience in a restaurant, in some open kitchen, in a bar, and so on. So point of hospitality expo is to bring professionals together for first. For second, it's to bring professionals from all around the world, but also from Slovakia, because we have like plenty of great ones in here, and connect all of them together and get as much as possible from it. Not only for us, for our bar, for our hotel, but also for our guests, for the professionals from not only Slovakia, but also countries around like Czech, Hungary, Austria, and even Poland. And in time, the idea is to bring like all of the world, not only as speakers and guests of the Hospitality Expo, but also as visitors. As we can see in the world that it's usual, and I even do it by myself, to travel to Berlin for bar convent, to travel to Athens for a bar show, to Lisbon, whatsoever, And I believe that Bratislava is the place that can offer much, and I think that even our local bar culture can offer much. So it's all connected. Let's bring people in, show them what we do, who we are, and let's them experience something that they would want to visit or experience once again. So building up the level of local gastronomy and getting to the building level of global gastronomy and hospitality, as this is kind of aim or goal of Hospitality Expo, I would say.
You also had time to write a cocktail book as well.
Yeah. I as I said, like putting together the ingredients, cooking, and so on was always kind of a passion to me. And when I get behind the bar, I realized that this is the thing that I can be good at, because I can like imagine the flavors, putting them together in my head, and then like recreate it in a reality. So through the time, I was like putting together the recipes, wrote down how I did it, and so like at the very beginning, it was like very easy, basic stuff. But in time, I realized, okay, there's like plenty of recipes, and I just started and so on. So I told myself like 8 years ago, once I will write a book. I need to put all this together and share it with everybody. And then time flew. I always was like, okay, I have like some great recipes, some great knowledge of techniques, technologies, how they work, how they can be combined, how you can be creative in the end. But also, I grew up as a professional bartender, like knowing what hospitality is, how to take care of guests, managing the bars, projects, and so on. So you also part about the economics, my personal kind of thing was neurogastronomy and gastrophysics, like getting to learn more about the flavor as it is, the aroma, the taste, and brain and connection in between. And I was still like working, learning, and so on, and still in an idea like, okay, I'm too young to write a book, to publish a book, and something. I need to be at least 40 to be respected for a book. And then when like COVID came, so we stayed in a way at home, and we were not working crazy hours in the bars. And I realized that I should put something. I should put something together, because now is the time. Like when not now, then it would never happen. Even if I should like put book together and publish it in a few years, let's do it now. So I put together the recipes, the basic or the practical knowledge of techniques and technologies. And then I realized that there are like plenty of cocktail books already. So how can I do it maybe a little bit different? So it will be not only about interesting, but it can be efficient for the advanced bartenders, professional bartenders, or experts, but also to beginners, to students at the hospitality schools, or even the cocktail lovers that some of them even make crazier and more professional stuff that actual bartenders do, because they are really passionate about. So I put together the sections, and I realized, okay, time is now. I had a few friends around me that believed in that we could do it, and we get to the idea of do the crowdfunding for a book, start in a Slovak language, because the main problem here, and I believe it's not only in here but in Slovakia, is that we have a lot of hospitality schools. Some of them are pretty professional, really really great, but we still ending up in like from 1 year, 2 3 students end up in hospitality business, and that's not good at all. And we realized that it's also because that our hospitality schools are kind of behind what we are doing, and they're in a lot of ways not even trying to connect with us, with the people that are working right now in the bars, that are like creating the trends, or like working around the projects of bars, of cocktails. And then when some students goes out of the school, there is nothing that connects him in what we are doing right now. So we realized that we need to put some bridge in between, and I thought that it could be my book. So yeah, that's basically why the book is divided in three sections: the theoretical part, which is about the philosophy and like practical knowledge, like economy and management and so on, but all together with hospitality and guest focus, and also the neurogastronomy and creative process, with the practical ones about the technologies and ingredients, which we put classic ingredients into it and more interesting or unusual and modern ones like purple carrot or raspberry leaves or golden beetroot, but also with ones like apples and walnuts. And that was the part of the practical. We wanted to not only do philosophy and theoretical part of bartending, and only making the cocktails in practical part with a description of what is clarification, what is carbonation, what is shake, stir, and so on. But we also wanted to be kind of an inspiration or showing up the process of how to and step by step how to work with ingredients basically. And the idea was always not to have every bartender to do the cocktails that I do in the book or we published in a book, but also to get to know the creative process. Like I don't want everybody to make the same walnut syrup we put in the recipe in a book, but I want them to realize, okay, if I can do this with walnuts, I can do maybe Brazilian pine nuts, I can do maybe like almonds or whatever, pistachios, whatever it is, and they can put the basic knowledge or the basic knowledge and idea how to work with it in the creation of their own, like pushing their boundaries of creativity, their processes, their cocktails, and their ingredients. And yeah, so it started with crowdfunding, which we were able to sold a lot of books through it because, like, we publish Slovak bartending book. We are still a small country. There are not so much of a bartenders to publish thousands of books or something, but we have plenty of hospitality schools and the aspiring bartenders, at least we believe, and we want them to help to get to our bars, to work with us, to grow and to be much better in the future that what we are capable of. And we started with Slovak. Crowdfunding was successful. We were even able through crowdfunding to sell a lot of books for big companies or like people that are not in the hospitality industry but wanted to support the book, the project, and like the education in Slovakia. So we kind of after the crowdfunding went to 16 of hospitality schools around whole Slovakia. We introduced them to some seminar which was about bartending's career, and we gave them the books that were already supported by the people that supported the crowdfunding campaign and the publishing of my book. So yeah, it started in Slovak language, but my aspiration was always to put it in English to get it in the world. And few months, I believe it was 5 or 6 months after it, we published also the English one, and we started to focus on it more because in Slovakia we already get it almost everywhere. We are in the bookstores, we are in the schools, we are in the bars, and we wanted to kind of the brand get everywhere. So the Cocktail Balance is not only a book, but it grew into a platform, and we want to share more. And in the world, there is like plenty of basic bartending or bartending and cocktails in books in a general. So that's the point where we are like right now finishing the second one, because first one was also for advanced bartenders, professional bartenders, but mainly focused on how to get to the bartending if you are like a beginner, if you are a cocktail lover, or if you are a student. And we want it to spread even more to get more deep, more complex, and more creative even. And that was not able to get in the first book, but we are happily doing the second one. So yeah, basically.
Do you have any words of wisdom for the young ones coming through into the bar trade?
Yeah, like don't stop. Be professional, and don't stop. Same as I did, same as many great bartenders around the world did. Don't stop. It's hard. It will never be easy. You cannot make it easy, even if right now we can see that a lot of people think that it is easy and you can get in a very short of time to position, skill, or whatsoever. But in the end, the real experience and real skills only come in time, and you are able to use them, use the knowledge, use the wisdom or skills. You are only able in time. So don't stop. Work on yourself and be the best you can. and I don't think, I don't mean we be the best that won the competitions, won the awards, and do every time like the best thing, but be the best in a way that every time you are encountering whatever you are in your job, in your life, like you're best at what you are able at that point. So it's not about not making mistake, it's about making mistake and realizing that okay, let's go on. This mistake is not a bad thing, it's experience, and it can help me even more than if I would do something the best at that point. So yeah, be the best and don't stop.
And if anybody who watches this video wants to come to Bratislava for a weekend or for a week, what can we expect when we come?
It can be really great trip, I would say. Like Bratislava is one of the best destination, and I'm not saying it because I'm like living here, but it's one of the best destination you can enjoy for a weekend. It's very easy to get in here. You know, like you can fly to Bratislava, or you can fly to Vienna airport. You can come even by a train or whatever. And from the moment you come in on Friday, for example, or Monday, whatever suits you, you can have 3, 4, and even more days to experience always something new, always something unexpected. And yeah, it starts with great gastronomy in here. You can go to great bistros, great restaurants, great specialty coffee places, but you can experience one of the best bars, not only in Europe, I believe. So yeah, gastronomy is my personal number one because I work at it and I know the most about it. And you can like start with breakfast on the first day, and like eating and drinking and experiencing till another 3 days, and you will still get to something unexpected and something great or really good to experience. But also Slovakia is famous for its history in a way. We have a lot of castles, churches, we have great and beautiful nature, and everything is kind of close. So you don't need to go only to Bratislava Castle or our UFO bridge with the lookout on all of Bratislava, but you can walk through our historical city center to see historical, for example, pharmacies, and to get to great gallery we have here. And like, you know, like we are close, we are small, so you don't need to spend hours in a taxi to get from one point to another. And there is like still a huge of opportunities to experience, not only in a way of bars and restaurants.